Hi guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Asivalin. So on this particular video I'm going to be talking about my admission process, how it all started. I have moved to Canada and I'm just going to talk about how my thought process was. In fact, we're starting from the beginning. Okay, so if that's the kind of content you're interested in, please keep on watching. My name is Asitonka Agri Abba and channel is called Asidarling because I'm such a darling. I'm just going to go through these things in steps. So the first thing that happened was the NSAS. Like when that protest happened, it changed my entire mindset. Fast forward to today, more than 2 years after that process, they have successfully elected the key suspects. So, but that aside, when that happened, I was like, you know what, I can't raise my son in this country. I have to start working. I have to start doing other things. I have to start making this whole move thing serious. Okay, so my sister knows a lot about the express entry profile thing, and then she heard about a certain exam, the insurance exam, CIIN. So it was, they were supposed to write an exam in November or so. I think it's November we wrote that exam or thereabout. So we quickly applied, got somebody to teach us on Stadium Road. Shout out to Mr. Gerald. Taught us insurance. I read like 3 whole insurance books front to back because we needed to write the certification exam, and we wrote the exam. To God be the glory, we passed. In fact, the 3 of us had distinction. One funny thing happened. I'm going to be giving you gist though, please. If you know that you are in the TikTok generation, you don't like plenty gist, I don't know, I can't help you. I have to break these things down. And one thing you're going to get is because I'm way above 30, so most of these my stories will resonate towards people that probably we have like long study gap, or like you're a more matured student like looking to come to school in Canada. Everybody is going to benefit, but I'm just going to put it out there first. Okay, so funny thing happened. I think I even told the story. We were about to write the exam and there was traffic on Mommy B Road. We parked the car, started to run. We ran there and we wrote. I think Soso was the one that got the result. She checked it and she was like, we got D. She didn't even tell me. She called the guy and he was like, what did you score? And she was like, we got D's. He said, be happy now, this distinction. And I was so happy. So we had distinction in the insurance exam and I had that. Okay, so this was like towards the end of 2020. Because there's a plan, insurance, I'd registered to write IELTS 2021. I'm telling you that this thing is happening, what they call NSAS and everything. Although my sister has always been dragging me, let's do this thing. But it was like a click in my head. So my IELTS, I wrote it January 2021. Went to read IELTS gist, my dear. For those of you that have not written IELTS, I don't know why people don't read when you go to write. It's not funny, especially if you're like set, like we've left school since. IELTS, read, it's not even play, read. I read for like 2 weeks and I went in, IELTS listening. So we're there busy listening. I better increase the volume very well. Increased it as we're doing. I just heard, shit, man. That person don't fail. As you hear shit, man, because the thing with IELTS, you have to beg your village people, tell them, please, if you want to distract me, when I finish exam, distract me. But you see this IELTS, don't agree to be distracted. Right, finish that one. My speaking that day, my sister said go early, don't worry. They gave me 4 p.m. I was like, let me go early now. Maybe somebody will not come up, they'll do my own fast. Everybody showed up. I stayed there with hungry stomach from morning till 4. I was the last person. It was almost like I should do my speaking, like, help me ma, my head is tight, but I just did my best, reading, writing, every sha. Remember, this was January, so like February, I think was 2nd, 3rd week, or I can't remember. But that's one of the reasons I'm doing this video, so that I can put it in an archive and at least I always come back and check, like, so that I can refresh my memory of the whole process, because it took time. I'm not even going to go into the financial aspect of this kind of move, maybe in a different video, but you're going to spend money. There's no, if you tell me now how much did you spend from beginning to end, I cannot even quantify. The only thing is, at every single step, God was just providing, because it was a lot. So now back to the IELTS, yeah? After writing it, I was like, God, I prayed. As the IELTS, I was waiting for IELTS, I went to register for French, because they said, since we were senior citizens, like if you're above 30, you start losing points and all of that. And I was like, okay, let me learn French. In addition, I also applied to do my MBA. My darlings know this, like that was the period I was doing all that. So that because it's one thing to just decide to go, that you want to move to Canada. For me, I have to prepare. I have to be intentional. I don't just follow bandwagon. And if you think like that too, I'm here to encourage you that it's okay for you to take your time. Okay, some people can just wake up and go, but for some of us, we really need to prepare. You understand? So the IELTS came out. Thank God I did well. Hey, that my 4 p.m. speaking. My speaking I got 7.5. Writing, that writing. That was the last one we did that day, Abby. I got 7.5. Reading, I got 9. Listening, I got 9. So I maxed out my IELTS. Very happy about that result. Kept it aside and I said, let me do French now. Started French school at Alliance Française in Port Harcourt. Fantastic. I did the A1, A2, B1. That's A1, A2, B1. I did that French February, okay? By February, I was running my French and my MBA concurrently. The MBA was interesting but very stressful. Some nights I sleep by 5. I have to wake up by 6, go to French school, come back, do assignments, sleep by 5. It got to a point I was almost running mad. And remember, there was a period that I had 2 weddings that week. Remember, I'm also an event planner. I had 2 weddings that week, plus French, plus MBA. One Obanje client now called me for her wedding in December. I've just studied for this thing. By the time she wrote me one paragraph of a WhatsApp message, hey, I just said, come and collect your money. That's the genesis of returning people's money. From that day, it was because nobody will kill me. After that one now, as I said, let me just tell you what happened. The French was going well. I just said, you know what, my head, let me not die. I dropped out of MBA. They wrote me from the school, your results are fantastic. I said, I know, but I'm exhausted. I dropped out of MBA. I dropped out of MBA now. I'm only doing French. Because this is journey to Canada. If you don't want this, please, I cannot help you, but I will say this just. So as I dropped out now, I was only doing French. Month 1, month 2, month 3. They now scheduled TEF exam. TEF is the French exam. The one you do when you're finished learning the French now. The one that gives you the 50 points. TEF is more expensive than IELTS. For those of you that don't know, I think TEF was like 200K, while IELTS was like 75 back then. But this one, I was not there when the TEF people came. I was talking to one of the ladies. She was like, that she learned the French for 1 year. I was like, okay, trying to listen to her pal, my sister. As I heard that talk, I was like, this one don't fail. This one. I heard another guy. His own conjugation was just scattered. I said, hey, what is this? I asked him. He said he learned his own for 1 year, 6 months. I asked this other person, my dear, that was the genesis. That was the beginning of the end of my French. I said, wait, I'm only 3 months. And in my head, I'm like, okay, French, 6 months, 8 months, I should be ready. I knew that, see, there's one part when I was in school, there's something they used to call GES, I think philosophy, one did one philosophy. They say, Socrates say, man, know thyself. That's one thing with me. If I'm making a mistake, I drag myself back. There's nothing like shame. I say, man, know thyself. I say, no, I cannot continue. After doing it for 3 months now, instead of paying the 4th month that day, as I was carrying the money, I say, see, instead of going to, for those of you that know Port Harcourt, Alliance Française at Amadi Gardens, I just decided to go up and take left and go towards NIIT because I had browsed it. I was like, you know what? Let me just do data. This my tech journey was as spontaneous as my event experience. It was spontaneous. I said, you know what? Let me break it. Let me do it something different. I went, I checked data. They said NIIT in Port Harcourt, they do data. So I went there and they said there's data analytics 150. No, data analytics was 200. Python 150. I said, let me do the 2 concurrently. See me and my concurrently coming back from French and MBA. You people know that year. It was like as he was doing everything. That was the year. So I decided to do data and Python. I did it concurrently. It was working well. Every after we finished the data analytics, myself, one other of my classmates, Justice, and our lecturer, we started discussing about school route, study route. You know, all these points. The reason I was doing this was maybe PMP, maybe tech route, maybe another route, but I never really considered school. So when we were there, we're like, we can actually pursue this for school. And that brought me to the point of research. Guys, I researched like more than 15 schools in Canada. We're talking, we're looking at school fees, looking at this. By that, I didn't even have the money. But we're searching and searching and searching. And that program, June, July, August. We wrote our exams in August. So By that August finish, so between August September, I was doing research. Like I'm going to do a separate video about like the schools, how to select schools and everything, because I have that one will just derail me, because this one is just me telling you how it all started, how I picked Canada, why I picked study and all of that, because that's how it started. After doing plenty research, I got 15 schools. The 15 schools, I tabulated it. That video, don't worry, I'm going to do it separately because I know it will benefit a lot of people. After the research now, I now narrowed that 15 to 3. Okay, I've gotten my schools, I've gone through the course outline, I've gone through everything. I now decided to enlist the services of a visa consultant. Okay, understand that this Canada journey is different for everybody. Some people pride themselves in doing DIY. I work. I do not have that time. I personally see the only reason I'm making money in this life is so that I can allow other professionals do what they have gone to school to learn to do for me. Do you get? I'm making money so that I can pay somebody else to do the job while I use my time for something else. That's, for me, that's my logic. It has nothing to do with, oh, me personally, I'll tell you, do your research. Even if you're using a visa consultant or anything, do your research, because by the time I was sitting with these people, they knew that I knew what I was saying. Do you get? I went in and they're like, oh, have you tried this? I said, no. These are the 3 schools I want. This is what I want. I want you to apply for this one. And then I think one of the consultants was like, how are you so sure you get admission? I'm like, me, I will not get admission. But like, I don't even know. I've never thought of not getting admission. I didn't even think it was a possibility. I was like, there's no way I'm going to get admission. The admission. Do you get in my head though? Okay, so this was October. Remember, we have finished August. September was still research. October, I approached the visa agents, got their portfolios. The package I chose involved was like a combo package. They'll get admission and do the visa for me. I was like, that's fine, because I still would apply to get admission by myself. So I gave the visa agents to apply to Conestoga College for me. Conestoga College is here in Ontario. It's in Kitchener. I gave them 3 courses, because when you apply for school, you have the option for some schools to apply for 3 courses. So I gave them the courses. And then me personally, I decided to go ahead and apply for Seneca College and Humber College. I wanted to also apply for Centennial, but whoever designed their UI UX, towards the point of paying the money, it was confusing. So I don't know if anybody is here that designed it or know someone that designed it. That thing was very annoying and I don't have patience. That's why I didn't apply for Centennial. Then I wanted to apply for Lambton, but it's like their application fee was $120. And you know, by the time I was doing my application, back then CBN was allowing us to do transactions of $100, like a cap. So I know right now they've reduced it to 20, so it's a lot more confusing for people. But back then it was 100, so I was able to apply all these schools that were like 95, 60 and all of that. So I applied to Seneca College and Humber College, and right now I am in Seneca College, which is one of the ones I applied for myself, not my consultant. I picked Seneca College. My admission came in less than 10 days. I got my admission in less than a week. Like I applied maybe on the 8th. I think I finally applied. I think it was 8th of December or thereabout. I got it like 18th of December. It was just a very short time, maybe 18, 16, I can't remember, but I got it very short. Like I got the admission into the 3 courses that I applied for. One thing I think was a tip for me is because I feel Seneca gives priority to people from 2-1 and above. So it's not like, I don't think it's not like they don't take 2-2. It's just that your admission process might take longer. Do you understand? There are certain colleges that give priorities to people that have like 2-1 and above, just in case you're facing any challenge. That might be a reason. Basically, this is the story of how it began. Okay, so everything about this is going to form the basis of the other videos I'm going to be doing. My advice is for you to be very intentional. Yes, I decided, okay, Canada is the goal. The reason I didn't pick UK was because I just didn't, UK, their policies are not like set, and yeah, so Canada was it. So this is going to be my advice, which is like the landing. Especially for those of us that are above 30, we really do not have as much time, or we have enough time, yeah, but we do not have as much, you know what I mean by time, to make certain errors. Do you get? Things I might be saying might not resonate so much with young school leavers, people that are fresh out of school and going in to study, because the video I said I was going to do about schools, that one is going to be concentrated, because for me to get admission in less than 10 days with 10 years study gap. I've not been inside school for 10 years. Minus that my MBA, I didn't even add it. 10 years study gap. So that is a lot of time. And for you to write up whatever it is, most people don't have like issues with it. But for some schools, there might be issues. I got into all the colleges. I got this Conestoga. I think they gave me the other two. I didn't get one of the programs because they said I was going in for business analytics and infotech, but they said I didn't do anything infotech, anything computer science or so in my first degree. And I think for Humber, I got the 3, but they wanted me to bring my change of name. You know, my name used to be Agri Terms, and now it's Agri Abba. The other schools just knew that I was married and I changed one part. So, but Humber was asking for something. And because I already knew I was going with Seneca, I didn't even answer either of them. But basically, that is how it all started. Your girl was very intentional. This particular video, if you have questions about like the kind of programs I took before applying, that's for this video. Everything I talked about for this, so just so that I'm not confused. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to answer your questions. But if you're not asking me question in the third video, you will confuse me. It's not like I don't want to answer you, but you will confuse me. So for this video, the CIIN process, for those of you that probably do not want to come in through school and you want to be on the express entry pool, that CIIN, it gives you 1 year postgraduate certificate. Like they see it as two or more degrees, and it's an affordable option. I think right now they have even increased their school fees and increased the number of courses because they know a lot of people are taking the course now. The next one will be to do BCE. I've forgotten the name. BCE or something. Yeah, there's one computer course that you're supposed to do. If I remember, if anybody remembers it, please put it in the comment section. Those of you looking for one or more for your, like maybe you have just one program. And then for those of you that probably you want to start this process and you've been doing business, you've been doing different things, if I'm going to even give you a tip, this tip is supposed to come later, but let me just tell you now, the Canadian educational system is very different. I'm going to sit down and give you better download, but fresh tip, please, if you want to apply, study or apply for courses that you know. I know that you did computer engineering probably in your first degree, and then you went into marketing, you went into sales, you went into this. Don't go back to computer engineering. Do you understand? Go do the one that you know now. This tip is going to save you. You don't even understand. Those that are here know that. See, just do the one you know. It helps you a lot. Like if right now you're into marketing and maybe it's not your formal like course, or for those of you that probably do not know what you want to study, I'm going to be enlisting it in the admissions and school selection video, just especially for business people, because that's who I resonate with. I did not go straight to say, okay, it's only one course. I had a list of courses I can do. Okay, there are a list of courses you can do, and then when someone says, okay, apply for admission, you get confused. There's nothing wrong with saying what kind of course, because I see people ask the question like, what kind of course would I do? You get, so I feel like that particular video I will talk about that, but this is just how it started and how I decided to attack it. It wasn't just out of the blue. Like it came up, there was the NSAS thing, and then I started plotting a strategy. I feel like everybody needs a strategy. You can't just jackpot. You can't just, for me it's not jackpot. This is a business. Like my move to Canada is a business move. This is business. People ask me like, if you didn't get the visa, what will you do? I would have done pig farming. That was my plan B. I was going to go into farming or something, mainly pigs, because I feel like, yes, that I don't eat pork meat, but business is business. So it's still the same thing. So I don't want anybody to, when I start doing other videos, so someone will come, don't complain. No, if you want to complain, go back. My sister, this is a business move. It's pure business. Do you get? Some people are the defenders. Anybody that say anything, you come, no. Just take it easy. And then if you're coming to this place to, how would I even put it? I'm not the channel that I will come and tell you all the 1001 things wrong with Nigeria. I'm sorry, but that is not it, because it's in that country I was able to build the source for which I'm able to come here. So there is no way it was that bad for me. Do you get? I will be ungrateful to come here and paint all sorts of pictures about a country where I was able to build and be able to afford this. Do you understand that kind of thing? There's just for me personally, that's how I approach it. Hope this video was not too long and boring. Tomorrow I'll be posting the video about the visa application process. Please engage, watch the videos, or send it out to people that are applying, especially those of us that identify as senior citizens. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I remain your girl, Darling. Please check out my other videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys. Everybody say,